And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Um, I'm trying a little bit of a different setup here than I normally do. Normally, when I do my unboxing videos, I use sort of this setup, and then when I do my normal shows, I do this setup. Um, but doing both cameras at once, is sort of a first for me. And the microphone well, it's my phone. The microphone on my phone is better, which is why it looks like I'm muted on this one and not muted on that one. But as long as you guys can hear me and see me, I think this should work out. Um, anyway, let's let's get right into it. All Stars 5 Plus. This is basically the selection of what I ordered. Michael Casper, I apologize. I skipped it, I skipped all the old figures. I got all the new ones and skipped all the actual All Stars. I don't love Mercurians. I don't love skeletons. You know that. Uh, let alone dwarf skeletons. I know he's not a dwarf, but uh, and that's just a good joke. That's a fun joke. I still think it's funny. I still think it's funny that people can't figure out that he's not a dwarf just because he has a dwarf head. But anyways, um, besides this, I also got Boreas, but he doesn't fit on like in shot here because the box is just too big and the horse is too big. Full disclosure, I meant to wait until the live video to open everything, but I got the package, a few hours ago, and I spent the morning building a shed, and then I thought, you know what, I'm gonna reward myself, and I'm gonna open, just one figure. But then I went a little further and I opened a Boreas as well. So I opened Boreas, but I got two. So I will be opening a Boreas as well. I've already done an LBC, a Lazy Boy custom, a kit bash on my Boreas. Well, I'll show you when we get there. Um, and I've got another one of the Xylernian Guard as well. So I mean, depending on time, I may open the other one as well. But I mean, you get the idea from this guy. Um, he was just my favorite in the wave, the one I was most excited about. So I had to open it. I also wanted to get a little bit of sort of time with that figure before this video because what's going on with the shield is really, really cool. The fact that we got two loin pieces, both a soft goods piece and a more traditional, for Mythic Legions at least, plastic piece, is kind of interesting. But we will, like I said, we'll get to the Xylernian Guard. I want to leave him and Boreas till the end because those are sort of the two that I was most excited about. I will leave it to you guys what order we open everything else in. And on that note, I will open it up right now. What do you guys, of these four on the table right now, what do you guys want me to open first? I'm leaning towards the head pack because with the heads out of the pack, I can swap them onto figures. But that's just my thought. Alberto is saying ladies first. I'm not, unless anybody else is gonna to sort of chime in. But let me just quickly say hello to everybody in the chat. Right off the bat, even before I started, Michael said, enjoy those figs, especially Ilgar. I didn't get Ilgar for the reasons that I stated. But I mean, more than that, I collect too much stuff. I can't, my mantra, my sort of, my slogan this year and probably going forward because it's working for me. It's working well for me so far. I can't collect all the things. So I went in on the figures and sort of the factions and the designs and the character types that I prefer. And and the other guys didn't make the cut, which isn't to say that I won't ever pick them up, but they weren't a priority. These guys were the priority. And Michael says Romulus. Then I didn't get Romulus either. Michael is here. What is going on? Alberto Morales, Brick something is hanging out. Immortan Jojo. But yeah, open Ilgar. Feel free to send me one. I'll open one if you send it to me. I don't hate that figure. That's the thing with Mythic Legions, and I think most people will agree with me. Although I shouldn't say that, because I know that there's people that definitely don't like certain factions or certain races or whatever. There's lots of racist collectors in Mythic Legions, mythic races, not. But I like them all. It's just I can't collect them all. I just don't have the budget. I don't have the shelf space. And so I kind of stick to the stuff that speaks to me, the stuff that brings me joy. So Alberto said ladies first, and then I said head packs, and he said, yeah, do it heads first. My good friend Eddie is here. Eddie could have had his figures today, but he decided that he's gonna wait. He got his shipped and is gonna get them Monday. He could have had them today. He could have had them, but he's here now. He's gonna check these guys out, and then wish that he did get them today. I guarantee that he's gonna wish that he got them today. But anyway, without any further ado, let's get into it. We'll do the head pack first. And then and sort of when we get close to sort of finishing the head pack, I'll sort of check in and see what you guys want to do next. But I'm going to pull them off the table just to give myself more room, because space is at a premium when I've got the computer, the setup for the table, like all that kind of stuff. It all adds up. So anyways, the head pack. So starting off with the head pack, we got 6 heads in the head pack. We got the Bog Goblin, the Vampire, the Demon Head, the Jagualian, the Dwarf Head, as well as the Female 2.0 head. I'm going to forget what these are repaints of for some of them. This is an update. So the Bog Goblin had a different head, and then the Hellfire Goblin came with this head sculpt. So they basically just did the Bog Goblin colors on the Hellfire Goblin head. The Vampire head is new. That is not a repaint. That is a completely new head. The demon is the red demon is a repaint of Azar and Zazar. He looks pretty good in the red. I've said this before. I say it often. I'm not a massive fan of red and black deco in general. I feel like it's too easy. Like it looks great, but it's too easy. It's kind of a cop out. But he looks good. He looks really, really good. I love Jagualians, so I love that we're getting this. Obviously, a repaint, redeco of Balam, as well as Kauros and Purplor. This is a Joran Runeshaper repaint, I think, but like a lot of people didn't even realize, because it's so dramatically different from Joran's head. And then this is Gwendolyn Heavensbrand, sculpt with a new deco. The deco on it looks fantastic. Plus, we get some more stuff in here. So let's get this out of the collector's friendly packaging. Actually, before we do that, let's take a little bit of a look. So the whole wave, gets on the back of the card. We got, I can't even get it in shot, but we got Dubin, Swig, Averona, Xylernian Guard, Boreas, and the head pack. Interestingly, in the head pack, you only get the demon, the Bog Goblin, and the dwarf. But on the side, you get all 6 pictured there in the head pack. And then you just get a map of Mythos because obviously multiple factions, multiple stuff going on. So you don't get a faction sigil on this side, which to the best of my knowledge, it's only the head pack and a couple of the like real specialty figures. Like I think the unknown one it also has that. But that's about it. There's very, very few that just have the map. But let's get this off the card. Now, the card is the same Nate Barch art that we have had for years and years and years. I think Mythic Legions, they've just sort of decided that that's going to be the art, the insert art. They change it on the back, so that's I'm okay with that. We get a reusable Ziplocked bag with all their accessories, which I think is great because I always, before they were doing the reusable bag, I was basically tearing into the bag and then chucking it out and finding a different bag to store small parts in that. So I'm very, very happy that they've gone with a reusable bag now. It means that I don't have to find one, and it also means that I don't have to throw something out. Let's just quickly jump into the comments. Brick said heads. You're thinking right as usual. We'll talk about this tomorrow, Brick. Brick's going to be on my sort of regular Sunday show. My system had a bit of an overload. I have made there has been an error in the system. Eddie already wishes that he had gotten his stuff. What made you pick up the head pack? Man, customization. That's where it starts and where it ends. I love to kit bash. I love to do lazy boy customs. I think this line just lends itself to that so well. It's hold on. The line's designed for it. The line is designed for customizing. It's designed for part swapping. It's perfectly suited for it, and to that end, sorry, I'm just trying to organize these while I talk. And to that end, I mean, why not? When they do the hands packs, when they do the sort of accessory packs, weapons packs, whatever, I always grab that stuff because you never know when you might be inspired and you might want to sort of pop and swap a few of these and have some fun with them. I intentionally opened the head pack first, like I said, because I'm going to do some head swaps on some of the figures that I've got that I'm going to open. So you'll see what it does to just do a quick head swap sometimes, like how different a character can sometimes look. Look, perfect example, Lady Averona, who is sort of evil, pop this head swap on there, and you've got a completely different character. Pop this on the Xylernian Guard, and you have more than just elves in the Xylernian Guard. I don't know what I would. Of the ones that I'm opening today, I probably wouldn't use this one personally. Or that, I mean, that might be it. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. It's just possibilities. Michael is the answer. It just gives me more possibilities, and the price on this for what you get is phenomenal. You're not gonna get custom painted heads. Like basically, you probably get one custom painted head for the price of the head pack. So to me, it's a no-brainer. Anybody that wasn't gonna get a heads pack, let me know if you've changed your mind and you're now gonna pick one up. Mortan Jojo says, I've always loved the Bago Gabos. They're great, man, but they were sort of ahead of my time in terms of like when I got into the line, so I never got one. The Hellfire Goblin is great. But I may swap the Hellfire Goblin head out for this one because this looks phenomenal. Such a great head sculpt. And I like this deco a lot. A lot. Sorry if I don't read your all, if I can't read all the comments because I'll just get way too far behind. I'll try to read at least one from everybody. Mike Zarzuela, I hope I pronounced that right, says heads, yes, and more. Stay tuned. We got lots more to go. Alberto said that Panther head is awesome. Gonna get the head pack with Swig and Ilgar from eCollectibles next. Yes. Brick says you pronounce Dubin like a stoner. How are you supposed to say Dubin? Dubin? Duban. You know what? I think you're right. Brick says Duban. You could also go similar to Duran, or Duran, Duban. I say Dubin, Duban. I think it's Duban. You're probably right. I think it is. I think I've heard Four Horsemen sort of say it that way. Balaam, I was calling him Balaam for a long time. So, Eddie says, now I want the head pack. You should get it, man. For photography, think about it. Think about your possibilities. Think about the options that you've got in here. Alberto says that devil head would look great in a dwarf body. I think I don't, now I have too many like red heads. Because the red Krampus, I was thinking I'd put this on the red Krampus, make it a little bit less Christmassy for a minute. And then they came out with the Furious 4, that bonus Jagwellian head, and now there's a bit of competition for that body. I was also thinking Sir Gerard could get this head, and it would look really, really good. I'm also toying with the idea of making this guy a good guy and putting it on like a knight body, like armored body, and not thinking about it sort of matching the deco of the rest of the figure, if that makes sense. Like I said, red and black as a design scheme, like head to toe, does nothing for me. The idea of a red demon in just silver armor or black armor or just armor really appeals to me. So we'll see. Anyways, let's take a look. Let's take Jeremy's here. What's going on, my friend? Just wrapped up WrestleMania. You were in WrestleMania? Did you win? Did you win WrestleMania? Does that offend anybody that I say it like that, knowing nothing about WrestleMania? I don't even know who's wrestling. Alberto says, yeah, custom heads go for 50 bones and more. Exactly. Like, and you can get, what is it, 6 for less than $50. So why not, right? Scott says, hey people, what's going on, Scott? Happy to have you here. Michael says, awesome women's match. Ray, baby. That means absolutely nothing to me. Although I feel like you're talking about a wrestling match between women. That's all that I can sort of get in that. It was a barn burner. All right. Mike says, Adam loves that we're talking wrestling. I look, my 7-year-old loves wrestling, so take from that what you will. Jeremy's the new Intercontinental Champion. Well, congrats, man. That's great. That's really going to open some doors for you, I think. But anyway, back to Mythic Legion's head pack. Let's go through them quickly, and then I'll sort of move on to the first figure unboxing. This is, of course, the black and red demon head. Looks great. The deco is great. The sculpt is great. All the little lines that you see are not just deco. Like it's cut into the sculpt. So it's really, really well done. The ears are really cool, really fun. He's got like there's sort of something going on the back of his head too. So the sculpt is sort of great, start to finish. Um, the paint apps are pretty good. It's more of like a wash on the horns than it is like this is sort of painted detail on more of the face, and then the horns are more of a wash. So there's a little bit of inconsistency to the horns, um, which might drive some people crazy. I'm perfectly okay with it. I think it's what they're going for, which is why it doesn't bother me. He also comes with the red um, neck, which is great because that way you don't have to necessarily run it on like a black or gray, like an armored one. I'll show you what I mean with the Xylernian Guard when we get there. There's some like neck pegs that will match the figures, and then there's other neck pegs that will match like the head. So sorry, neck pegs that will match the body, and then neck pegs that will match the head. In this case, we actually with a bunch of these we get neck pegs to match the heads, which is a huge bonus. Um, but anyway, that's the demon. Up next is the dwarf head. Like I said, repaint of Joran Runeshaper. Joran is in like the original was like metallic blue, like really really bright electric blue, and then I think his beard was white, and he had wings instead of horns. So like this is a complete departure from that one. It's a full sort of redeco, which is why, like I said, a lot of people didn't even really recognize where this head sculpt had come from. They thought it was a new dwarf head. Now he also comes with the dwarf head peg, which as you can see is not your typical head peg. It is set forward a little bit, which allows the beard to sort of sit a little further forward so that you can sort of get it tilted against the chest a little bit better. It can also, if you want to, and you can do this, you can put this instead of a standard neck peg. Let me get this standard neck peg. Whoop. So that's your standard neck peg. That's the front of it, but if I spin it around, it's like honestly, it doesn't matter which direction you have this on. It sits the same. It's just a vertical neck. The dwarf, as you can see, is offset forward towards the chest. So instead of the head sort of sitting straight on, if you have the dwarf head peg, it sits forward. And the reason for that is if you just had, I don't know if this is making sense or if the visuals help at all. If you have this beard hanging down and you have just the standard peg, the beard will sort of stick out because it'll sort of hit the chest and stick out. By putting it forward, you can put it down so that the beard sits a little more flush with the chest. I hope that makes sense. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Next one. What should we look at next? Let's look at the Bog Goblin. So, as I said, original Bog Goblin was basically these colors. Hellfire Goblin was effectively this in sort of a red paint scheme. So it was still the same. It was this head sculpt, which is slightly different from the original Bog Goblin. Original one had his mouth closed, but the Hellfire Goblin came with both. This one's unique in that like this is basically his head peg. So if you can see, like I can rotate, oh, you can see better here. I can rotate the head on top of this bit. This bit sort of replaces the neck peg, and then this sits forward. So this guy again is like really stout, really sort of forward-facing head. And what's really cool about what the Four Horsemen did is that they also included this helmet that came with the Hellfire Goblin, but in a new deco. So that sits right on there and looks super, super rad. And I love that they included this. They certainly didn't have to. It's a head pack. It's not a helmet and an accessory pack, but they did. And they even went one step further, because anybody that has the Hellfire Goblin knows that this tongue is one of two. So that just pops out. His little standard tongue pops out. And this Hellfire Goblin tongue pops right in there. So you get this really long, nasty, gross tongue as well for very, very dramatic look. Really, really pops on the shelf. Man, like how cool is this head sculpt? This is definitely going on one of the deluxe Legion builders. Whether that's going to be the Goblin or the Dwarf one, I don't know. Maybe I need to get more. We'll see. Anybody that's watching that got the head packs or is getting the head pack, what are you planning to do with the heads? What are they going to go on? Are you going to do full custom figures? Are you just going to swap them on other figures that you already have? Let me know because I'm curious. I'm going to put these off to the side as we sort of go through them. This one I think is maybe the one that I'm like the least excited about, but it's going to be great because I am in the minority that loves 2.0 figures, and this is a really great deco. The ginger. who is it that's always teasing me for getting like ginger figures? I don't know if they're watching tonight or not, but if they're not, thank goodness. And if they are, let me know if you're watching. For some reason, I tend to have a lot of ginger figures recently show up. But anyway, and again, comes with the 2.0 neck peg in the color matched flesh tone. So Jeremy says that's Becky Lynch. There you go. Wrestling relevant to wrestling. Look at me. I'm relevant tonight. Not much to talk about there, to be honest. Most people that have a female 2.0 Mythic Legions figure probably have this head sculpt. I think they've done a couple decos of it. This one is very nice, actually. I should say that. I'm kind of like dismissing this one a little bit, but it's really well done. The eyes are painted very, very well, and the hair looks great in this color. So this is sort of like the least exciting one, but I'm still really happy to have it. Next up, we get the vampire head. So this is like one of the few sort of emotive heads that we've seen in Mythic Legions. And it's perfect timing because we just got the Alithia wave, so we just got the vampires. I bought Varg just to put this head on. I don't love that Varg head. I don't like it as like a bat creature. I would very much prefer to use that sort of bear vampire torso and arms to have a full vampire. So I'm going to swap the legs for standard legs, and use that torso and make this guy just like a super badass vampire on my shelf. So that's what I'm doing with that guy. Really, really nice, really well done. And they did. Hold on, I haven't had the chance to take a really close look at this, so I'm going to do that while I'm talking to you guys. What they've done with the eyes is like the whole head is matte, but the eyes, there's my unmanicured fingers for you, Brick. The eyes are gloss. So there's a little bit of like a, you get a little bit more reflection off the eyes than the rest of the head. The teeth are kind of like semi-gloss too. And the inside of the mouth looks like it might be kind of too. Anyway, looks great. Paint apps are fantastic. If you have that Alithia wave of vampires, again, there's some kind of pink shading around the eyes, in the ears. So it's not just a white head. This looks really, really great. Really, really great. Wow, that's a good one. That's a keeper. My absolute favorite, and this should come as well, I don't think it's going to come as a surprise to anybody. My absolute favorite is the Jaguelian. If this head pack was just the Jaguelian head, I would have been satisfied. That would have been enough for me. So we get the full black Jaguelian head, the Black Panther. Wait, why have I left this comment up this long? The full black Jaguelian head. This has the 1.0, what's kind of sometimes referred to as the armored neck peg, so it looks kind of like it's got armor on it, I guess. It's, you know, you can see those little ridges in it. Yeah. So it doesn't quite match, you know, it's not black flesh, it's like black armor, but it is what it is. I'm okay with it. Then we get the shoulder bit. So the head, the Jaguarian head sits. Well, I'm not going to put that back in. I'll just show you. You can put this on top, you know, on top of the. So basically, if you've got your figure, you just drop that on top, and then the head pops on. So he just gets sort of broader, thicker, stronger looking shoulders. Believe it or not, these look pretty decent on over top of like armored torsos. A lot of people think that they need like a black torso to put this on, but you wouldn't believe how good it looks over an armored torso as well. This may go on a Sir Wayne. The armored knights that don't have like unmasked heads don't do much for me. So that might this guy might take over as Sir Owain. Maybe Sir Owain was always Jaguarian. We just didn't know. It also comes with the tail, which is fantastic. I'm really happy to have, you know, a tail to match. The problem is there's so few 1.0 figures that come with the hole in the butthole, for lack of a better explanation, to plug this into. So you kind of have to cannibalize a figure that already has a tail to use this tail. Now 2.0 figures all come with the hole. So I'm hoping that maybe Four Horsemen can like release a few figures that have that so that people can cannibalize from non-tailed figures. Alberto says nothing that a Dremel tool can't fix. True, but I don't know if it's later in the evening. My hand's not as bad. I've had a couple. Had a couple adult beverages. I have essential tremor, so something like dremeling out a hole to put that in, I'm just gonna massacre a figure unless I've had a couple drinks, in which case I'll probably massacre it anyway. So that's kind of the state. That's the balancing act that sort of exists in my life when it comes to customizing and doing creative things. It's a sad existence. Um, let's see. Let's see what's going on in the comments here. Scott said, I think his helmet was purple. Are you talking about Balaam? Maybe? Balaam's helmet was purple. And then he had the Jaguar head. Oh, Scott, are you talking about Joran Runeshaper? His helmet was purple? His body was blue, wasn't it? Alberto says you can use the Bog Goblin helmet as a pauldron. What? It doesn't plug in, but you could. Yes. Yeah, you could. You'd have to modify it because it doesn't have the little plug. But oh, that'd be cool. That'd be very cool. Mike said you definitely selling me on this pack. Might just ship my order today though. Hey, there's always your next order. Jeremy says I'll pop on your shelf. I would prefer that you didn't. I think. Brick says the last head's going on my goblin. The ginger's going on a Cassia buddy. Yeah, Cassia is one where I think a lot of people are going to use that 2.0 head for sure. Demon might live on one of the Furious Four. Yep. I think again that's, and a lot of people that bought like a bunch of those Furious Four figures, I think maybe that's where a lot of those could land. Mick says, does the vamp head come with a neck? No, which is kind of a pain in the butt. But the that one will work. And I think it's if that was the intention, I think was they didn't include one more. I would have loved to see one more because I think we could have got like a vampire flesh, like a pale colored flesh, you know, neck. But you're nitpicking. at that point, because you know, with all these heads, you're gonna need a whole bunch more figures anyway, and then you're just gonna have extra stuff anyway. So it's you know, how much stuff do you really want in your parts bin? Demon on a red Krampus, dwarf on a Warrior, still figuring out the rest. Nice. Michael, he'll look good on Baron version 2. Yep. Yep, you could absolutely swap that on Baron version 2. I've got a spare Valak that I was thinking it might go on, but I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna sort of mix and match and just, you know what? Maybe I'll do another video where I'll sit down with a whole bunch of parts and mix and match, just to show people how easy it is and how fun it is. Maybe I'll have a couple people on. Maybe we'll do that one Saturday night. We'll have 2 or 3 people on, and we'll just hang out and do some Lazy Boy customs. Scott Baker says, forgot the vamp. Did that one Voligar one with Varg, bare arms, feet, and wings looks? Oh yeah. That would look fantastic. Some comments I will read, some comments I won't read. Alberto says there are manual ones that can help, but it's okay. Yeah, I know. I just live with it. And Alberto says paint one white, easy fix. Yeah, absolutely. And I think honestly, like just looking at the matte sort of finish on his head too, like you probably grab a can of white primer and you'd be pretty dang close to this color. So, but again, it's kind of like that one will work. You know, depending on what armor you're putting it on. Like if you're putting it on an armored body, just use the one that's already on there so that the peg matches the armor. If you're like me and you're going to use the Varg, he's close, so I can grab him. Varg has a white neck already, because he's a bare torso, so he doesn't actually have a neck peg. So that's, well, here, let me show you what I'm talking about. So Varg, being that he is a bare torso, doesn't actually have a neck peg. The bare torsos are the only ones that don't have swappable neck pegs. But this will just pop right on. And away you go. Now I just now I have an angry vampire dwarf. See what I mean? It doesn't work. It just doesn't work with this head. It works okay with the Varg head, but this guy as a dwarf, it's weird, man. I can't leave it on there. I just can't do it. A little angry vampire dwarf. Anyway, moving on. That's the head pack. That's we're 40 minutes in. We've done the head pack. Let's hurry up. Prince collections. I didn't get Ilgar, so no. What's next? Lady Averona? Should we do Lady Averona? You're not wrong, Alberto. Looks like a bleached wee man from Jackass. It really does. All right, so going forward, like I said, I'm going to probably not read as many comments, like I said, because I got to get through these. Otherwise, I'm going to be here all night. Scott Baker threw some Black Knight legs on that. Yes, and that's what I would have done if I had been clever enough to get Black Knight, but I didn't. Lady Averona. So, profile on the side with a nice portrait. Again, same Alithia card back as the rest of the wave. Arethyr, Legion of Arethyr. Is that right? Let's get her out of the plastic. Interestingly enough, not a reusable Ziploc bag for her accessories. And the fun part of the twist ties. Now, I know a lot of people clip these, and if that's the way you do it, that's great. more power to you. I just like keeping them because why not? I mean, it's again, like I said, I don't like that this doesn't come in a Ziploc bag. I don't like that people would clip these and then sort of not reuse them in some capacity, and not because I'm sort of like an eco warrior or something like that, but just because, you know, how often do you like need a twist tie and you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't thrown them all out. I just say that's just me. Like I said, it's just weird. And this big old axe. As I said, you know, a little bit disappointed that the accessories come in this bag because, like I said before, you know, this is coming out, and then the bag, and there's a bag in a bag. The shield is in a bag within the bag. Jerry, get a wire cutter. I have lots of wire cutters. It's not that. It's just that I can't be bothered to cut it. It's all right. 2.0 figure. She's a baddie. Head looks great. Can you see her red eyes in there? I don't know if you're gonna. She's got like real bright red eyes. That's not gonna pick up on here. I don't think, as well as it does in person. I mean, think about legions, right? They look great in photographs. They look pretty decent, you know, in video. In hand, it doesn't even compare. I mean, they look so much better in hand. This color is great, really, really nice, very, very vibrant, and rich, sort of red. There's a little bit of sort of paint bleed sort of on the upper torso. The lower bit is fine. Um, Almost as if, and I think it's the case, I think the upper torso is like molded in this red plastic, maybe? Or the whole torso is painted in that plastic and then the silver is painted over. I think it must be the case, just based on sort of what I'm seeing. But you've got a couple different colors as far as the armor. So the top bit is more of a silver, and then it's more of a gunmetal for the lower arm and for the armor piece on the back. The skirt, same thing on the legs, more of a silver at the top, and then a darker gunmetal on the lower legs. Now this comes with 2 loin pieces, so it comes with the plastic, and then it comes with a wired soft goods. The plastic ones are fine. These ones are way cooler. They're way more fun, in my opinion, because you can do more with them. You know, she can be in the breeze, and this can be sort of blowing. I don't know how you want it to blow, but that's on my Xylernian guard. I kind of just crimped the bottom so that it made it look like there's a little bit more of sort of a texture to it, if you will. She's got the helmet, you know, the flip it closed, flip it open, flip it closed, flip it open. But you can still see her eyes through there, which is really nice. The new belt that we've seen on some of the newer figures, or this might be a new one still. This one is not familiar to me. No, where do we see this one? This was on somebody. Was this on Artemis? I think this might have been. I think the belt might have been on Artemis. But anyway, moving right along, we get this is also new, and this is exciting to me. I don't know why I get so excited about the belts, but there's like a new shoulder strap. Now this one is like molded a little bit more. So this is the old one, still very good. You know, you get sort of the ability to hold one thing in there, but it's just a hoop. This one, you know, there's a painted buckle, silver painted buckle. There's the ability to hold a weapon or like something on there, but there's more design to it. And like I said, it's molded, so there's I don't think it's going to translate. Maybe it will a little bit. You can sort of see that on this side it's like sculpted and sort of flares out ever so slightly. Anyway, I always like, I just enjoy getting all the accessories on my figures. So she's gonna get all the belts. She's gonna get all the stuff. Because why not? The figures look great when you get all the stuff on them. Although I don't even think she has enough stuff to carry, so she's not gonna even need all these straps and stuff. But since the head's off, it's a little bit easier to get the pauldrons on when you have this off as well. Hopefully I'm not boring anybody yet. Soon enough, you will all be bored. She's got this sort of spiky pauldrons that we've seen on a couple of the goblins. I think primarily the goblins. I'm trying to think of anywhere else we might have seen them, and I can't think of anything. Doesn't want to stay on. Of course it doesn't. You should probably heat these up before you try to put them on. I didn't read the orange instruction sheet that came with these, but whatever. I'll skip that one. She comes with the sword, the round sword that we've seen with the red shield soldier. It is painted in a color that matches the torso there. Get the scimitar type sword as well, painted in that burgundy color on the handle there. And then we get one of these gigantic elf axes. Black handle, silver for the blade. Looks very nice, very straightforward. As I said, you get this badass sort of evil looking chick. Swap those pauldrons out for something a little bit less menacing. I think you'd want to. And swap the head. Oh, come on. Do I want to swap a neck peg? Let's see. Nope, doesn't want to come off. Of course it doesn't, because that makes for better viewing. There we go. It's a slightly different shade, but I'm not going to worry about that for the sake of this video. Pop that on, and all of a sudden, you just have sort of like a badass dark knight who could be, House of the Noble Bear or something like that. The color scheme probably wouldn't work for most of the other factions, but you get the idea. I mean, it just dramatically changes this figure from, evil red eyes to very striking green eyes. But man, that's a good looking figure. And the use of like different shades, like I said, of the sort of silver and the more of a gunmetal looks really, really good. You know what? I'm not going to bother sort of getting accessories in hands because we'll be here all night. We're going to be here a long time as it is anyway, it feels like. So I'm just going to move on to the next figure. Who do you guys want to see next? I will catch up in the comments. I will wait for somebody to sort of let me know what they want to see next. Scott Baker, there's evil in those eyes. Yeah, they look really, really good. Alberto says we see them red eyes. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Yeah. They're very striking. Brick, new straps are great. Quick add-on to up the look of any figure. Yes, and the extra. I love having all the extras. I'm going to use a whole bunch of them for AWOC as well. Scott, I didn't even see this comment. Try the Becky Lynch head on her. I did. It looks good. Alberto, not bored here. I love watching you guys while I doodle on my iPad or build dials. Oh, that's cool, man. I kind of do the same thing. Like when I'm watching somebody else's video, I'm usually you know, opening something or doing a custom, or I say custom, I'm part swapping things, or posing things or whatever, or like prepping or setting up for another video. So those are very kind words. And Mortan Jojo, there's never a boring moment on your show. Always look forward to it. That is very much appreciated. Alberto said swig, but Alberto, you already got to pick one. And Michael and Brick are both leaning towards Dubon. So let's do Dubon next. Where is he? Dubon. Old Dubon. He's got. I mean, maybe it's Dubon because he kind of has a bit of a Matthew McConaughey thing going on. I don't know. Just saying. Anyways, Dubon has his bio on the side there with a portrait. Look at how, man, like he's a good guy, but is he a good guy? I don't know. He looks pretty menacing. He looks like somebody who's been around. He's seen some stuff. The Alithia card on the back. Xylona's Flock, my favorite faction. And there he is. Let's get him out of prison. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot. He comes with a birdie. He comes with a little buddy. Reusable bag for the accessories. Nice. I'll pull this out and show anybody that if you've never opened a Mythic Legions with a cape, the cape comes taped inside the blister card. So there you go. The cape feels heavy, like there's some heft to it. More on that shortly. I'm really excited for the cape. I mean, I'm really excited for this figure, but in general, I'm excited for this figure. Look at all those hands. 3 spare sets of hands on top of the standard hands. Oh, come on. It is 9 o'clock. I hope you guys got your Savage Crucible orders in. Because if you didn't, time's up. If you did, feel free to let me know what you got. I'm curious. This tape is annoying, and it's coming off really messy. Just a pain in the butt. Alberto Dubon has the most accessories from this also. Yeah, absolutely he does. He's got tons of stuff. All those Xylernian guards got a lot of stuff going on too. But the hands kind of put Dubon over the edge, I think. The spare hands are, well, we'll get there. I love the spare hands that they're including. I love that. I mean, I haven't seen them yet, so I could be totally wrong, and I'll just look like an idiot. But the fact that they're doing like horizontal and vertical hinged hands for different figures is awesome. Now, if he just has like 2 sets of horizontal hinge hands, it's gonna be I'm gonna look foolish, but that's okay. Probably look foolish most of the time anyway. Scott Baker. You just reminded me that I am now broke. Yes, indeed. Indeed. All right, that's Dubon out of prison. If any of you guys are in the cabal, you've probably been paying attention to the sort of ongoing chat about what color Dubon is or isn't, what people expected versus what they got. Let me just get it all out, and then I will sort of get into that. How long do you think we're going to go tonight? We'll see. Shoot for an hour, but never happens. Alberto said, I won. Alberto says, I won the entire Lemurian wave by getting 4th place in the Dio contest. Congrats, man. That's a pretty big win. That's what's that, like the whole wave? The whole wave won? 4 figures or 5 with the accessory packs too? Did you get those? Like that's a legit prize. Mortan Jojo. 3 Nim Villamir, 1 of each of the other Lizard Bros, minus the Savage Lizard Builder, various Lizard Barbarian packs, as well as a Jaeger and Nashorn. Yes, sir. That's legit. That's a good prize pack. Scott Baker says, "Wow, they hit 600,000. That is legit. That's a pretty wild number for a Kickstarter. That's congrats to them, man. I'll probably reach out to Rob. We gotta have him on again. He was fun to chat with. He was fun to chat with on the video. He was even more fun to chat with after the video. He's very open and honest on video. He gets really real once the recording ends. Anyways, Dubon is phenomenal. So you get, I'll tell you right now, no picture or video accurately represented the colors on this figure. He looks absolutely fantastic. Very, very happy with all the colors, top to bottom. The gray has like a hint of brown in it almost. The armor matches the this sort of shirt underneath, matches the gloves, matches the gauntlets, matches the boots, and it's sort of like it's a blue gray. I don't really know, sort of, steel blue. Sometimes something like that would be what people would say. The hood is very much a gray. It's a fairly standard gray. It matches very, very well with the cape. It's not a perfect match because you got plastic and then fabric, but that's okay. I'm cool with that. I'm looking forward to when we get like full fabric, hood and cape. I'm also probably gonna, do some head swaps. I got a couple of these, so I can do some customs. Again, part swaps, lazy boy customs, not full customs. But it looks really, really good. The one thing that I'm surprised by, the pants are just sort of like a chocolate brown. and they're in that fabric, that new fabric sort of piece for the upper leg. And then the armor on the sort of the lower leg, as well as the armor on the gauntlet, is a pretty good match to the chest. So there's kind of a hint of blue in there. It looks really, really good. I'm very curious to see what this looks like in sunlight. Obviously, I've got lots of artificial light on here, but no sunlight as it is nighttime, obviously. And then the neck peg on this, just because we've been talking about it, matches the armor. It's not going to come off. It's not going to play nice, so I'm not going to bother. No, it's not going to come off. It's stuck in the head, which is fine. I can live without swapping that. Well, you know what? Just for the sake of it, just because I said I would. If the neck peg's going to come off, that's fine. What we'll do is put... So this is what I was talking about, like, of doing a swap that kind of doesn't seem like it would make sense. Let's try the red demon head on here. I don't like it already. I don't like the way the sort of blue goes with the red. It looks weird. I don't love it. I'm swapping it right away. All right, let's try this. I think that looks pretty dope. Not my favorite. I think there's probably a better option for this head. But let's try one more because we can. Because I kind of want to see how the vampire head plays off of this color palette. And that looks pretty cool, actually. It works. Again, it's not perfect. I would probably get the neck, the neck peg that matches the armor in this case, rather than the black one. But that looks pretty cool. It's not going to stay that way. It's definitely not the way that I would sort of do it. But like I said, just to show you what you can do with them. I also popped this off because I think I might need to get the cape on. So let's do that. Actually, yeah, so he's got these pauldrons. I'll show the pauldrons. I'm not going to put the pauldrons on as such. I'll just sort of show you, so the pauldrons match the armor. They have that sort of blue coloring to them. When I take more time with these, I'll heat them up and put them on properly. But for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put the cape on off that screen. I guess I could do it on this screen because you got to line it up decently enough. All right, that works. This is, of course, wired all the way down here, all the way around, actually. So it's all the way down, has a wire that's all the way around. So you can get this sort of wind swept. I'm not good at this. I'm going to have to learn how to pose capes. But yeah, fully wired, so you can sort of get it to do just about anything you want, really. With those wires, they'll work with you. If you have any skill at all, if you have any more skill than I do, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to wired capes. That's part of the reason that I love them so much is because I never had them. I always had plastic capes, and I always thought plastic capes were kind of clumsy. Just shows that I'm really the clumsy one. It has nothing to do with the cape. We get a sword with a sheath. It's got kind of a really nice green color to it, which is in line with Xylona's flock. I'm trying to move through this quickly because we got more figures to get to. If you guys have any questions, if you want to see something again, just let me know. A dagger that matches the same green as the hilt of the sword. We get a crossbow. The crossbows aren't my favorite. The fact that we don't get an arrow with it, but I mean they look cool. It's just it's a hard weapon to sort of pose a figure with. I find, but you know, maybe that's a challenge. Maybe I need to work on that. Maybe I need to get better at posing a figure with a crossbow because it does look cool, and because I'm going to be getting some in AWOC, so better figure that out sooner rather than later. Then, of course, we get his bird companion. So this is the same sculpt, apart from the head, that we got with Valak. Now, the legs will come out if you heat him up so that he doesn't have to be on this sort of gauntlet thing. I didn't bother doing that with mine for Valak because it's masked. This one I probably will, though. This one looks really, really nice. That's a nice bird. I like that it's unmasked. Like, this was weird that you would give us a masked bird with the wings out, in my opinion. I very much prefer, you know, the unmasked. And if you give us masked, fold the wings in. You're right. Because where's the bird gonna go with a mask on? Maybe do falcons like fly with a mask on? I would think that they would not want to fly blind. But anyway, that's just me. What do I know? I'm gonna put him over here. He looks great. Honestly, if you didn't get duped, like, you know, to each their own. Everybody's gonna have different preferences. He looks phenomenal, in my opinion. In my humble opinion. Quickly, we'll just take a look at the hands. So we get emotive hands on a horizontal hinge. Well, I guess, yeah, if you're, depends how you've sort of orientated them. But if you're holding them this way, it's horizontal. Those are always great for posing. He's got two fists, also on horizontal hinges. And then he's got holding hands on vertical hinge. So the hands in the figure are you know, the C grip, as it's often referred to, C grip holding hands with the horizontal hinge, and then these have the vertical. So you can hold it like with a horizontal, you can sort of have it, you know, go that way, that way. I love when somebody's holding a sword to have the vertical hinge, so that they can kind of, you know, get stabby, get a little more stabby. That's my preference. Everybody's got different preferences for hands. Some people say more is more. Some people say less is more. Anyways. Alberto, Dubon, my least favorite, but a must own now. So underrated. He looks phenomenal, and honestly, that cape is going to be a ton of fun. I'm going to probably use it on a bunch of figures. I'm also probably going to use it as a template to figure out how to make capes, wired capes. What else we got? Scott Baker. I don't use his pauldrons either. Don't really see them under the cape, and they hinder articulation anyway. Yeah, I mean, I've actually seen people kind of configure it so that he's got his pauldrons and he's got pauldrons over top of the cape, which looks really, really cool. I don't know if they put holes in the cape or they've just sort of used the wire to kind of MacGyver the whole thing. I don't know. I'm going to be sort of experimenting with that, I think. Eddie says that Dubon is fire. He's so good. And like I said, like color wise, as far as people kind of getting bummed about like, oh, I thought he was blue or I thought he was, I didn't really know what to expect. I just thought it was a cool looking figure. And honestly, he looks better in person than I anticipated he was going to, which is kind of weird. But no, it's not weird. I'll be the first one to say that, like, Trevor's photography is phenomenal. Trevor 16 Shooter, who does Mythic Legion's photography, phenomenal photographer. But the light that he's going to have isn't always going to be the light that I'm going to have when I open these figures. So they're not always going to be the same color, right? They're not always going to look exactly the way they do in those pictures. Those pictures are also designed to make the figures look, as good as they can. And sometimes that means that he's sort of exaggerating blues or exaggerating reds or so on and so forth. So you're not always going to get 100% accurate representation of the figure just through the photography. I'm okay with that because I've never had one of these figures show up and kind of go, oh, you know what? It's not as good as I hoped it would be. They're always way better. Brick says, I need to unbox these figures. I need to unbox. And then he's added on. He repeated. You probably tried to delete it, but they still show up on my end. Dubon was one of my must-haves. I got two as well. Not to have two Dubons, but to have Dubon plus, the fodder to basically make, another Ranger or whatever they kind of suggest Dubon is. Like, just the look, the colors, all that kind of stuff are phenomenal. I'm gonna kind of mix and match, play around. I got, the spare Dubon, a spare Valak, a spare Krotos, a spare Xylernian Guard. So it's just fun to kind of mix and match and sort of get those things. You find those color combinations that really work for you personally. As I said, the black and red doesn't always work for me, but I'll buy a black and red figure if certain parts of it look like they might sort of go with other things. So, Brick deleted by accident, so repeated. And yeah, same, to make a different figure. Yeah, exactly. I'm not army building Dubon, but that armor, the fabric arms, the fabric legs were sort of pieces that I really, really wanted in my fodder bin. All right. So what we've got left, we've got Swig, we've got a boxed Xylernian Guard, and I've got Boreas. I think Boreas I'll do last because it kind of takes the most amount of time, and I kind of have to clear the deck to do it. Otherwise, I'll just be knocking everything over. He'll take up this whole space. Like, the box will take up the whole space. The horse takes up the whole space. So Xylernian Guard or Swig, or should I just do the Xylernian Guard that I've already got open, or should I do this, or should I open Swig? So already open Xylernian Guard or Swig. Anybody? Anybody? First one. First person to comment. First person to say one or the other. Nobody says anything. I'll just do Swig. 3, 2, 1. I'm doing Swig. Because Xylernian Guard, I'm probably going to take too long. Oh, come on, Alberto. Too late. Too late. Alberto says Xylernian. Michael says Swig. I've already got Swig in my hand. There's also a delay. I should say that there's a delay between, like, when you're actually doing these and when the comments come through. There's always about a 2 or 3 second delay. So, like, Alberto, when you're typing, and Michael, you're typing, I've probably already said, that I'm gonna do Swig, because I didn't actually give you that much time. But who cares? We're gonna do them all. We're gonna do them all. Swig, man. Again, I bought him because he's a rad little gobbo, and he does not disappoint. And I don't have him out of the box yet. The colors on this, I thought he was just gonna be, kind of black, gray, whatever. There's so much more depth to the deco on this. It's phenomenal, man. And his weird little head, sculpt is just so different from what we've got for most of the goblins so far. There it is. There's this little snub-nosed, pug-looking face with the description. the Alithia card art, the Arethyr faction sigil there, and then and there he is in all his carded glory. But I'm not here for carded glory. Let's get him out of the box. Ziploc bag. So that's Lady Averona is the only one that didn't have the reusable bag, which is interesting. Get his little wizard staff, wizard stick, whatever you want to call it. Should I do this one? Do I need to do this on camera every time? Or Eddie, you didn't get Swig? What the? He's fantastic. Just wait. Eddie, when I'm done unboxing this, you tell me whether you're gonna message Mike tonight and add the head pack and this gobbo. This little wee goblin. Oh, come on. I guess this is why people cut them. The frustration. Yeah. Look, it'd be way quicker to just cut it. I get that. More wired soft goods. Like that's man. All right, we'll get this guy out. Get the plastic back in there. Get the accessories out of the reusable bag. Like I said, the reusable bag, love it. Probably cost them a couple more cents per figure, but it just adds a little something. These accessories too, man, these are good accessories. First off, the Gobbo himself, Swig. As I said, I expected like black or sort of dark gray. He is very brassy. Brassy chest, brass on the lower legs, dark brown on the upper legs, dark brown on the upper arms, brass on the wrists as well. Gold, some gold as well, like little gold on the little rivets that go on the armor. I think you can probably see some of that, a little bit of that, not a lot of it, because yeah, I mean, it's a small little detail. Purple hood, real nice big ears. That, like I said, that really kind of smushed flat face with a whole bunch of jagged, sharp looking little teeth. He looks like a nasty little bugger. He kind of has a bit of a Green Goblin head type thing going on. Really, really good. Loving this guy. Then, of course, we get the wired soft goods on this guy. So this is the same like skirt that we saw on I think we saw it on Alithia as well as Artemis Silver Cord version 2. So we've seen it a couple times, but because he's so short, it feels quite a bit longer. And it's just fun. In the pictures, it didn't look as glossy, and when in Trevor's pictures, which is the prototype, it didn't look as glossy. And when I saw pictures that people were posting, and it sort of had a sheen to it, I was a little bit like the people that were sort of complaining about that. I kind of got what they were saying. In hand, that feeling is past. I genuinely don't care. It looks great. It works. And since he's a little sort of potion guy, a little bit of magic, a little bit of sorcery, maybe. It works. I think it's fine. I don't think it bothers me. I also kind of had a little bit of time to prepare myself for the fact that it was going to be a little bit shiny. So there was that too. I had sort of that going. Out of the box, he comes with the slightly more emotive hands. He comes, of course, with just standard C grip goblin hands. These are on the horizontal hinge, which works. As far as accessories, we get these 1.0 pauldrons. So if you're familiar with sort of 1.0 pauldrons with a 2.0 body, you know that they really change the look of a figure. Again, I want to heat them up properly to put them on, because these are I don't want to wreck it. But yeah, it's going to change the dynamic of how this figure looks. He's gonna look a little bit chonkier, but he looks really cool without it too. I'll be totally honest. Like, he kind of looks cool like that as well. With the pauldrons though, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to put them on and sort of see how I feel after I've got them on there properly. But yeah, I don't want to force them. I don't want to. Let me see if I can get him to stand with them just resting there. Okay, that'll do. He gets his sort of wizard staff with the blue orb on the top. Real nice paintwork on this. So there's sort of a like an antiqued gold through all the sort of gold bits. And then the wrapped part is sort of a red. Now this is 2 parts, or I think it is. So you can swap out different parts. There's more of this stuff coming. There's going to be sort of more swappability. But yeah, there's his little staff. Comes with one of these belts. Don't know what. Oh, no, I know exactly what I'm going to use that for. He also comes with a beautiful blue dagger, which sort of matches the blue on the sphere on top of his staff. And then you get that nice small little blade. These are fun. You don't get these with a lot of figures. This short little curved dagger. There's not a ton of these in the line. Then last but not least, he comes with this sort of bone-handled sword. Has a really Lord of the Rings orc kind of look to it, with that sort of straight angled blade. Looks very orcish. I don't know if Swig is going to hold on to this. This might go to an orc. This might be this might be appropriated by one of my orc figures. Because Swig's he's a magic guy. He's going to be wielding magic. What does he need that giant sword for anyway? Alberto, you got to use the skirt as a mini cape. Just pop the head and add it. I have seen that, and I probably will try that for sure. Goblins aren't typically my favorite, but Swig is in my top 2 of this wave. He looks really, really good. Scott, I think he has a 1.0 neck peg as well. Is that true? Oh, so he's got the adapter. So he's got a 2.0 body with a 1.0 head. Good to know. I'm not going to be able to get him to pose with his pauldrons on again. Dang it. Okay. No, he's fine. He's fine. Now I need the goblin. Oh, Eddie, when will you learn? Okay, so last of the figures that I got, but certainly not the least, as I said, he's probably my favorite for obvious reasons. If you sort of know me at all, the Xylernian Guard, the sort of one of the different. We've had a few different Xylernian Guard troopers. We've had the Silverhorn Sentry. We've had the Elf Legion Builder, the sort of full gold 2.0 Elf. This is, of course, the Xylernian Guard. It comes with the 2 heads, so you can either have a Whisperling Elf with the green, or just a standard elf, I guess. Um, Although curiously, this is the only one that I'm going to sort of mention this as far as the bio goes. So there. Well, there it is on the card. There's his bio, Alithia card back, and my favorite Xylonus flock on the back there. But what I was gonna sort of call out in the bio is where is it here? It says amongst their ranks there can be found wood elves, which presumably is the sort of Caucasian kind of looking elf. Whisperling, where did it go? Wood elves, whisperlings, which is the green one, ghost elves, and other members of this fey race. Ghost elves? Anyone? Man, I need a ghost elf. And now I need a ghost elf. I didn't know I needed a ghost elf until they put it in there. I don't even know what it is, but I need it. What do you think a ghost elf is going to be? We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, I'm not going to unbox this one. I have one unboxed, so I will just show that guy. There he is. As I said, I've been sort of messing around with this guy for a lot of the afternoon. Yeah, Easter egg drop. Exactly. That's a good one. Well, if the audience was only me, I'm sure there's people that don't really care. I'm sure there's people that were like, oh, ghost elf, whatever, no big deal. So he came again with sort of two loin cloth pieces, one being plastic, one being the wire. What I did is before I took this off, I just kind of shaped the wire along the plastic one, as I said, and then it sort of had a little bit more of sort of a shape to it. But it moves around and just looks really, really good. I'll pop the stuff out of his hands, and we'll sort of take a closer look at the figure, and then we'll take a look at the accessories, because the 3D Xylonus Flock shield does not disappoint. So we get a 1.0 body with the sort of cloth piece that we've seen before, pauldrons that we've seen before, the arms we've seen before, the leather cuffs and gloves, the leather boots, and this shin armor is relatively new since the Alithia wave. The upper is just the armored leg that we're used to. Not much different sort of going on there. Same belt that we got with Bardrick and Valak. That's sort of, double loops here for a dagger and a sword. I haven't sort of picked out extra accessories to drop in there yet, but that's going to be sort of the fun of creating multiple Xylernian guards for me, because I did buy multiple Xylernian guards, and I still feel like I want more. I can't justify it with all the multiples of all the AWOC stuff that I'm buying, among other things. But a really, really good looking figure, like great color palette. I've said this before, that part of what I love about Xylonus Flock is this color palette, the gold, bronze, brass, like gunmetal, but then the greens and the orange, the leather, the sort of natural tones that everything seems to have. I feel about as strongly about Xylonus Flock color palette in the positive as I do in the negative for like black and red. There's just something about it that just really, really speaks to me, and it's just phenomenal. The figure is stunning. Dubin looks fantastic, and I think he'll probably appeal to more people as far as his color palette. But the Xylernian guard, for me, is really, really on point. As I mentioned, he comes with two head sculpts, or not two head sculpts, two decos of the same head sculpt. So he comes with the wood elf as well as the whisperling. Now the interesting thing is that we get this flip down helmet that of course comes with two masks. They're slightly different. So on one side, they seem similar. On the other side, they are a little bit different. This has sort of the cross cut into it. I will point out that this one is a little bit longer than this one is. So this one, the one that has sort of the slit fully across versus the split, is a little bit shorter. It sits a little more flush with the cut of the helmet, which I suppose I can pop off and show you because I've been head swapping this figure with lots of things, so I know it's going to come off. So this one, you can see it sort of sits flush when it's closed. If that makes, if you can sort of see what I'm talking about. This one, when it's closed, sits a little bit lower. So, you know, pick the one that you like best and roll with it. When it's fully clothed. When it's fully closed, the eyes don't quite line up. You do have to open it up just a little bit for me to sort of get it to sort of line up, which is a bit of a nitpick. This, on the other hand, fully closed, you're not going to be able to see it, but you can see the eyes. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. I don't think I can get the light to hit it just right at the angle that I need it to hit. Anyway, take my word for it, or don't. Doesn't matter. Also, these just pop right off. So if you want, you know, a different mask on a different guy, it's as easy as just popping and swapping, and just like that, they've now got different masks. Yeah, there you go. Easy peasy. Put it there. Of course, he gets the strap, the simple version, nothing elaborate. Bow, arrow, and quiver, painted in sort of the is it brass or bronze? I guess it's bronze with gold, and then the green fletching. Possibly my favorite sort of deco that they've done in the arrow and the word that I can't think of. This thing. Anyway, he gets the elven sword, the full large elven sword, color matched very nicely to his armor. It's got a little bit of gold, or the gold on the handle, and on some of the design, as well as a little hit of sort of emerald green right in the center, as you can see, or not because I'm covering it, as well as the very end of the sword. Very, very nice. I mean, I love elves, so the elven sword I love. Last but not least, this accessory is kind of a game changer. This thing is, wow. Like, if you've got one, you know what I mean. If you haven't got one yet, just you wait. If you didn't order one, you've made a mistake. So the shield is a multiple piece 3D sculpted Xylonus flock sigil, but sort of stylized. It doesn't look exactly the same as the sigil as it's represented in drawing. There's texture to it. You know, there's sort of like fur to the sculpt. It comes with, you know, the normal handle plugged onto the back. But if I pop that off and just pretty gently push it out, this comes apart. Now, this new shield shape is really, really cool. And they've got more of these coming, both in 3D sigil style shields, as well as the sort of knight's weapon pack that's coming with the Necrodominus wave. Comes with a shield that just has sort of a plug on the center, but you'll be able to sort of do some swaps with this. this still works as a shield, right? Because you can just plug this on. My buddy in the Knights of the North, our Canadian Mythic Legions group, snapped a picture of this and posted it and was like, "Yo, this shield alone looks dope." He's right. It looks really, really good. But yeah, this thing it just looks awesome. It looks awesome on its own. It looks awesome in the shield. Yeah, I don't know. What more can you say? It just looks great. And the gold and the silver and the bronze, like, again, this color palette, whew, phenomenal. Anyway, that's the figures. Alberto says the Xylernian Guard and Boreas sold Mythic Legions to me. Oh, nice, nice. The horses are phenomenal. Did you get Boreas yet? Is that your first Mythic Legions horse then? The horses are so good, so good. I love the horses. I've got plenty of them. Too many, some might say. Anyway, that's the figures. Let me try to sort of clear as much space as I can. I'll get Boreas out. Man, so much stuff. Yeah, he's going to lose his pauldrons. That's okay. He'll survive. He'll survive without his pauldrons. He'll be okay. Any questions? Anybody? Anything? Want to know anything? Questions? Concerns? Boreas. I can't make any promises that this is going to fit in screen in the shot. I'll try. If not, I can go full screen with the other camera here, and we'll take a look. But well, that's not bad. I mean, it's, you don't get the whole box, but anyway, he's big. It's a big box. It's a way bigger box than anything else. Again, the color is great. There was some confusion, if you will, about the color. People thought he was going to be darker, that he was going to be almost more of a black. He is most definitely gray. Then he gets his own bio on the side. Not all the horses get bios. We get the Alithia art on the back, that beautiful Nate Barch art, and then all the figures in the wave on that side. And then there's our buddy Alder, and the Xylonis flock symbol on the other side there, with the castle. And let's get him out of the box, because I also want to show you the insert. All right. So as I said, before we get Boreas out, I just wanted to show you this insert with Castle Silvercord, and just like I'm working this into a dio or into like a background, because it's stunning, man. This is going to be a background for my Xylonis flock until such time that I finally get around to building my castle out of foam, which is my intention, and it has been for a while. I've been slacking on it. Anyways, Boreas is a big boy. I'm going to I don't think I can kind of get him out of the package on camera there, because he's too big. He comes with the spare mane, so the sort of active running style of look. He's got a whole bunch of twist ties in here. Bear with me. As I said, any questions, any comments, fire away. I will keep chatting while I'm breaking him out of prison here, which will take me a minute because, like I said, I think there's like 5 twist ties in here of different rigidity. Some of them are easy to get, some of them are a little bit harder. If Eddie's still watching, Eddie, I tested Boreas earlier. He does not jump, or at least he wouldn't jump for me. He might, but he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it for me. And if you get that reference, good for you. If not, you'll have to go watch what's it called? 12th Warrior? Alberto. Don't forget to feed him carrots to keep him calm. Oh, he's chill, man. He's Boris is a chill dude. He's not. No stress. No stress from this guy. Okay, once you get the twist ties sorted out, he just jumps right out. And he is gorgeous. Phenomenal. There he is. There he is, unposed. You know, his legs are kind of funny. Right out of the package, they tend to, you know, they're crooked. You know, his hoofs are crooked. Things don't line up properly. He doesn't look standing kind of too straight. There's not really much going on with it. The sort of shape of his legs or whatever. As I said, it comes with the standard mane. And then the sort of running pose action mane, just super, super easy to swap. This just pops right off, and this one just pops right in. I say as I sort of struggle to do it. So you can get him sort of in that running pose. For the sake of being on my shelf, he's going to have just the standard mane. Because he's just, you know, he's hanging out, he's resting, no big deal. Casual, just casual horse. All parts that we've seen before. We've seen the horse before. We've seen, you know, these lower legs on Apharius as well as Aethon. You know, the horse itself is just the Balius horse. The saddle and bridle, I don't know. I'm just making up words that I think are related to horses. But this thing around his neck and the saddle are the same as Aethon. This thing on his head is the same as Balius. But nothing. I don't know why I said but. So because of that, you can swap everything. Everything is swappable. Super easy to swap. Because I have a bunch of horses, this was something that I was really excited about. And I happen to have them right here. I swapped all of Boreas's gear with Balius's gear to give him a slightly different look. And to just sort of mix up my horses. And then I got a Balius with Boreas's gear there as well. So that didn't look like it just had two generic Balii and Boreas. Honestly, super easy swap. I'm looking forward to getting the white horse, the name of which eludes me at the moment, because I haven't gotten that wave. I'm not sort of in that mode just yet. But this guy looks fantastic, and I think in sort of the realm of fantasy mounts, the sort of heavier looking hooves and the gray color palette, it looks a little more like a horse that Conan would ride or something like that. You know what I mean? Not that Balius isn't a great figure, but I think this one probably appeals to more people, in terms of that heroic kind of chunky aesthetic. Scott Baker, thank you. Bishop, I mean, I ordered multiples. I should remember. Um, the only difference, and I've noticed this, and I just noticed it again, so I will mention this, and I don't know if it's a design change or what, but the hind leg seems to be a little bit chunkier on Boreas. So there's a little bit more to it, it seems, than Balius. I could be wrong. I didn't pop them off to sort of examine more, um, but. Maybe that sort of adds to the chunkiness too. Maybe there's a little bit more going on sculpt wise than I might have even realized. But again, if you're thinking about getting a horse, Boreas is a great one, and I would strongly recommend that people pick them up, because if it's anything like Balius, the aftermarket on these is gonna go wild really quick. Um, I think Balius goes for like double retail, and it's a relatively new figure. Um, do you so you got anybody that does all ins, or anybody that just anybody at all? Do you consider Boreas a figure or a mount? Is there a difference to you? Do you consider a troll a figure, or is that a separate thing? Like, if can you collect all the figures but not have Boreas? Does that make sense? I don't collect all of them, so I don't have to. I'm not worried about it. Just curious. Alberto Bishop, White Horse from Necrowave. Yeah, yeah. Really looking forward to that. I'm gonna do the same thing with that. As far as like swapping, like I'm gonna have two horses in the sort of white, you know, the Etheron sort of get up with the fabric. I'm gonna have two horses with that, but I'm gonna have a white horse definitely in a more stripped down outfit. Yes, is it a horse's outfit? I don't think that's the right term, but that's okay. And that, yeah, Alberto says the joust gear. The joust gear is pretty dope too. I'm gonna rearrange all this. That's it. I mean, that's what I got. So if you guys have questions, or sorry if it feels like I'm shouting because I'm just leaning right towards where the microphone is, and I'm shouting because I tend to be a loud talker. I'm trying to get it so that all this stuff can be in shot. And I'm trying to figure out if Boreas will fit back there. Good boy, Boreas. That'll do. That'll do. Whoop. This may surprise you, but this isn't a real castle. So if Dupont knocks that wall over, it'll be like in movies where like they pull back sets and you're on a soundstage. I don't know. That's a weird thought that I just had, but there they are. That's sort of the figures that I got in the wave. I did get multiples of several of these. I skipped the true All Stars. As I said, sort of at the top of the show, the Ilgar being a skeleton just didn't make the cut for me because I'm not a skeleton guy. I just don't love the skeletons. Same goes for Romulus. The Mercurians don't do much for me, and then the demons don't do much for me. I passed. I had an opportunity to get Zazar, passed on it, and then when Azar came up, it was offered to me again. I said, you know what? That's one thing that I can leave off my shelf, um, you know, without too much regret. Getting the red demon head is sort of like a consolation prize, so to speak, because I now have the ability to have a demon in my collection, but I don't need to, because he's just in the head pack, so you can kind of swap it and sort of see where that goes. But the ones that I did get, I'm very, very excited for. I love 2.0 figures. I love Xylona's flock. So these ones all made perfect sense for me. I was a little bit bummed by the sort of all-star vote process, and sort of none of the ones that I want made it. So this was again something of a consolation prize to get, like, all the other figures I wanted. I just realized that I also didn't get the tribute figures. I actually had so Okiedos is the sort of web store tribute skeleton, so I passed on him. Pretty easy pass. Xenathon I owned. I was lucky enough to win one from the Legion's lair. Had it in my possession, played with it, had it out of the package, posed them up. It just wasn't, it wasn't for me. The tribute figures with the color palettes that they have that sort of Motu inspired color palette, a little more vibrant, a little more sort of primary colors, a lot of like primary colors, blues and yellows and reds and stuff like that. And it just doesn't fit, what I'm collecting. In the same way that, skeletons don't fit, how I'm collecting Mythic Legions. So, and yeah, Alberto, no demons, no skellies. I'm offended, to each its own. Look, there's people that collect literally the opposite of what I collect as far as Mythic Legions, right? There's people that just don't like Xylona's flock, that don't like 2.0 figures at all. That's cool. I'm okay with that. I'm not, I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum. And I just hope that everybody will do the same, right? Collect what you love, buy what you want. This is what I wanted, this is what I love, and these are great figures, and I would strongly recommend these and the head pack to anybody. For sure. There's nothing that I got that I'm disappointed with. But yeah, that's that. That's my All Stars 5+ unboxing. It's been an absolute pleasure to hang out with you guys and unbox these. If you enjoyed, the video, hit that like. Please subscribe. It a little goes a long way. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. Hit that notification button as well. I do open a lot of figures, not just Mythic Legions, but other stuff as well, on Open Late. It's a little bit random. I'm gonna unbox. I'm gonna do an Open Late of these figures again. So I'm actually gonna open another Xylernian Guard and a Dubon, probably on Tuesday. Feel free to tune into that, or totally ignore it because you already watched me unbox these ones. But as I say on Open Late, it's always more fun to open toys with friends. So I appreciate you guys all being here. Anybody that's watching live, or anybody that's going to watch in replay, I still can't believe anybody watches these, but it's very much appreciated. Albert, I'll read these 2 comments. I'm surprised how Xylona's flock stole my heart. That faction is great. Yes, it is. It's got all the furries. It's got all the creatures, and there's just I find that that's my favorite faction because of the figures and the characters we've got in it. You know, and it kind of, you know, the elves and the fuzz monks, and, you know, Bryophytus, Krotos, Faunus. You know, we got a centaur. We got like it's like all the fantasy things that I like. The skeletons and the knights do the least for me, as far as what I love. So yeah, Xylona's flock is my jam. Alberto, how about some AWOC? Well, I was talking to Jason today from Spiro Toys. I told him there's nothing more is getting added to my order. I still haven't gotten mine shipped. Um, I, I, I've, I think I've convinced Jason to send me some. So I'll keep you posted. As soon as I get them, I'm definitely going to be opening them. And I'm getting a few, so I'll probably do a couple videos on those. I plan to do a pop and swap video for the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom as well. That I will do, you know, on the channel as well as in the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Facebook group. I'll post it in there, and we'll have a lot of fun. I plan to do sort of a full swap of a Chunari Legionary and a Horde Ravager. So basically, replace the blue armor with the red armor, to create effectively, you know, a unique figure in each of those tribes, as it were. So stay tuned to that. For that. I mean, hopefully that's soon. But it's a little bit out of my control. So as soon as I get them in hand, I will definitely be chatting about them more, doing a couple videos. So yeah, stay tuned. Like I said, subscribe, hit that notification button, and then you'll know when I do those videos. But on that note, it's been a pleasure, but it's getting late, and I got to wrap this up. I got another video tomorrow, so join me for that. I'm going to be chatting with Brick something about Cosmic Legions. We're going to be chatting about Savage Crucible, sort of, you know, tying it up as far as, you know, what they finished at, what we like about that line, so on and so forth. We'll talk about AWOC as well, because me and Brick always talk about AWOC when we get together. So that should be a lot of fun. That'll be tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. As I said, thank you guys for joining me. As I said, it's always more fun to open toys with friends. So hopefully you guys can join me again in the future. But until then, have a great night. Bye-bye.